Greetings guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Today I am wearing what is now my favorite outfit of all time, and it is my favorite outfit of all time because over the past couple of weeks I was traveling and going to all of the Europe stops for Hotter / Medja Coffee's Europe tour, and I met him a couple times and he told me this outfit was beautiful, and then he like grabbed my earring and said that they were really cute, so naturally this is all I'm going to wear from now until forever. Not relevant, but it is on my brain, so I'm gonna share anyway. Today's video, back into the point, is something that for some reason comes up on my reels all the time, and that is the carnivore diet. Now, I have made a video about this once before, quite some time ago now, but it keeps coming up on my Instagram reels again. I don't know why carnivore diet stuff keeps coming up on my reels, but it does. It's like in between my vegan recipes as well. Like, why is it here? Why is Instagram doing this to me? I hate it. It makes me uncomfortable. It's so icky. But also at the same time, sometimes I like can't look away and I just like watch in horror. And so today I wanted to talk about it because there's a lot of stuff in it that I think really needs to be talked about, and it very heavily sits in like the eating disorder box, which is my specialty. So I want to dive into that and talk to you about that a bit today. But before we get into it, I would love to let you know that for today's video, I am partnering with my friends at Belisar, who are going to be sending out free vibrators or gift cards to everyone who signs up using the link in my description. Belisar is a company by women for all things sexual empowerment, and they make an incredible range of toys. I've picked a few of my favorites today to tell you about. First up, we have my ultimate favorite, which comes in this cute little charging case for easy like travel and keeping it clean. And this is the Pebble Pro. So it at first glance looks like a standard like external suction toy, but the body also vibrates to add like an extra bit of oomph. And on top of that, not only does she do suction, you can take out the suction part and switch it to a tapping feature, which taps if that is something that you're into, but also you can go for this little tongue attachment. This is like everything. It really steps everything up. The first time I switched out to this, I was like, I'm never going back. If you want something a little bit different, but you still really like that sort of tongue vibe, another choice you have that is also fantastic is the Flutter Vibe. This one does dual stimulation. So it has the internal vibration and then also it has the external tongue. So I'm sure you see the appeal of that. And both the internal and external parts function separately. So you can change the speed on them individually to have it tailored just for you and just what you like. And the final one I want to tell you about is something that is a bit different, and that is Grind. And Grind has dual stimulation, but in a different sort of sense. It fits to your body and molds and moves with you, and you can control the vibrations and the tapping with a remote in your hand, so you do not have to like think about it or reach down for the buttons. It is very easy to control. So if you want something a bit different and unique, then this is something that is perfect to try. If you would like to try any of these or any other incredible products from Belisar's range, please do use the link in my description and you will get a free toy or a gift card just by signing up. So do not miss out. Thank you, Belisar, for partnering with me in today's video, and let's get into the horror that is the carnivore diet. I think a good place to start on talking about the carnivore diet is to explain what the carnivore diet is. Like, it seems pretty self-explanatory, right? Obviously, like, carnivores only eat meat. So that's going to be what the diet is. And yes, you would be correct, but I think it's important to kind of look at how strict it is and what an actual carnivore actually looks like, right? So the carnivore diet that these people are all doing and talking about is very, very restrictive and limited, in which they only eat meat, dairy, eggs, That's it. Oh, and salt and pepper. But that is the only like type of seasoning they have. And they're not very happy about it. Like this woman posted one of her meals that is just, I think the hardest part of the carnivore diet for me is not being able to season with anything but salt and pepper. Like my ground beef looks so sad. And like, yeah, that does look very sad. And the reason they don't have like herbs and spices is because they view them as inflammatory. Like spices are like inflammatory, so they don't have them. But that is so bizarre to me because there are spices and herbs that are anti-inflammatory. Like turmeric, for example, is an anti-inflammatory. And you're not gonna use it because it's inflammatory. Where are you getting your information? Why are you denying yourself of like seasoning and flavor because you're worried about what even is the problem with eating something that might be a bit inflammatory? Like, I don't quite understand what is going on and why you are depriving yourself for like such a minor thing that is also just inherently incredibly incorrect. But that's kind of the whole premise of this entire diet, is that it is based on absolutely nothing. They don't eat any plants at all. Like there's no fruit or vegetables or anything. There's no carbs. Like there's nothing in this diet but meat, raw milk, and butter and eggs. And that's literally it, which is not even like what a carnivore eats, right? Like carnivores in nature still eat plants, right? Like we all see carnivores like eating grass, right? Like that is a thing that they do. You look at like cats, and cats are carnivores, and my cat's favorite food was peas. She freaking loved peas. I saw this video on Twitter a couple days ago of a cat like devouring corn on a cob. Like they are not living their lives being like, that's a plant, so I can't eat it, I can't touch it, I'm not going anywhere near it. I am a carnivore, so I'm ignoring all plant matter. That and the fact that they eat animals that eat plants, and they eat like their stomachs and things while the plants are still in there undigested, so they're still getting plant nutrients into their bodies. There are not very many exceptions to this rule. There are not very many carnivores that exclusively only eat meat, except for maybe like a polar bear, because they live in a place where plants don't really grow, so they don't really have much of an option. But overall, carnivores are not as strict as these people are being with their carnivore diets, right? But, you know, why would they listen to reason and actual like science and what's going on and what animals and people like can and do and should and shouldn't eat when they could just listen to other carnivores on Instagram? They're all just feeding each other. All of the information about carnivores comes from carnivores, and they're all just talking to each other and being like, everyone else is wrong and we are correct. No, that's not how this works. But yeah, now that you know the basic outline of what it means to be living on a carnivore diet, let's have a look at an example of a day as a carnivore. Here is this man who shows us his one single meal a day. He eats one meal a day, and this is what it is.
I've been on carnivore for over 2 years, and this is my full day of eating. Started off my day with water, creatine, sea salt and iodine. Then I had a walk outside, getting in that morning sun. Grabbed a quick black coffee, then it was time for the gym to hit a big leg session. Midday I had a cup of bone broth, then later on at 4 p.m, it's on to my one meal for the day. 500 grams of high-fat beef mince made into burgers, a 300 gram sirloin steak, 250 grams of lamb cutlets, and 6 fried eggs cooked in ghee and butter, and what an absolute feast. Polished that off, and then a bit later on in the evening, I had a nice glass of raw milk, finished that off, and that was my day done.
Like, why? Like, literally just like, why? Why though? Firstly, going to the gym and doing an intense workout on an empty stomach and then not eating until like 4 p.m. just feels like a bad idea in general for like every reason. Like, I personally don't know how you don't pass out. And just like, why are you only eating one meal a day? Why are you doing that to yourself? And then also only eating one meal a day and it being that, and it's that like every single day. I look at that food and ignoring the fact that it is made of animals and I have no intention of ever eating animals, that makes me feel sick. Like my insides hurt just like looking at all of that. Not only just like the amount of it, but the amount of it that is kind of like exactly the same. Like that's kind of just one thing in like different fonts. And it just looks like my insides would feel so slimy and slippery. Like they say that a lot of the time when you start the carnivore diet, you have like explosive diarrhea for like a couple weeks. And like, yeah, I can see why. You're literally just putting like, I feel so greasy and slimy just looking at that. I don't know how you don't feel so horrifically ill just eating that. I guess you train your body into it, but like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? And it's the only thing you eat every single day? Like, that's so sad to me. It's like, it is so unbelievably sad. I want to sit here and be like, I don't understand why you do that to yourself. I don't understand how this is something you choose to do and why you choose to do it. But that would kind of be a lie coming from a perspective of I am someone who has struggled with an eating disorder for over a decade. I struggled really, really badly when I was a teenager and was like on the brink of hospitalization, and I was in therapy like multiple times a week for my restrictive eating disorder. And it is something that I have been, dealing with for years, right? Since I was 14. Like it's been over a decade of me dealing with this, and some days are easier than others. Like I've been in active recovery for like many years now, but some days it's still hard, right? And so like I understand making yourself miserable when it comes to food, right? I empathize with that. However, these people are not ever going to admit the fact that they have a restrictive eating disorder, despite that being exactly what is going on here. If you are restricting your food intake so severely and you have such strict food rules to the point where it is impacting your life, which this is, because are you ever able to go out and like eat with your friends? You're not having like cake on your birthday. You're not ever eating anything different. You have these like insanely strong, strict rules that you don't break away from. And it impacts the way you are able to live your life. You are so focused on food. Your entire life like revolves around this diet and the way that you are eating and what you are consuming, that it doesn't leave as much room for other things as there needs to be. Your life needs to be like bigger than that. This idea is further highlighted the more you dive into the carnivore diet, like the more you look at it. It's interesting because the way men present with eating disorders a lot of the time is different to the way women do. Like here, obviously, he's doing this thing being like, this is what I eat and I'm big and strong and I go to the gym. And for some reason, people don't view that as eating disorder because they're like, men can't have restrictive eating disorders. Look at how much meat he's eating. So clearly he is fine. No, if you are like limiting your food intake and restricting so severely, like it doesn't matter if you are even eating like a lot of calories, you still have an eating disorder. An eating disorder is not necessarily like something that is actively making you like lose weight. It's not necessarily like restricting calories. Restricting food groups so heavily is also an eating disorder. So like that is what's going on here, regardless of what he would like to say about it. I am diagnosing him. I'm sorry. And then you see how it works for women and how a lot of these women talk about it, and it like you cannot look at what they're saying and what they're doing and not immediately be like, this is disordered eating. And that is the fact that literally every single one of these people, women and men, honestly, but like largely it's women that are coming up talking about this. They all mention that like the biggest highlight, like the best part of a carnivore diet is that it means you lose weight. You'll lose a lot of weight, you'll lose body fat, and that's like the number one best part about it. The reason you should go on a carnivore diet is because you will lose weight and your body fat percentage will decrease.
We're carnivores. We get complimented on our weight loss.
I have now lost over 30 pounds of fat. For starters, I lost 60 pounds.
Then came the fat loss. After just 2 weeks, she could see it melting off. That's the kind of transformation that people notice.
And that's just so sad to me. It's like, it's so upsetting that like this is still such a big seller on so many things. Like, so many things are sold and advertised as a way to like change your body, and especially like weight loss, and the fact that it is something that is very convincing as well. A lot of people do a lot of things for weight loss purposes, and it includes things that are so unhealthy and restrictive, such as, you know, the carnivore diet or like any fad diet, like cutting things out and restricting them for no reason other than weight loss. It's never a good idea. And it's really upsetting how like normalized that is. And I know that, you know, most people don't think the carnivore diet is a good thing, and we all do sit here and go, that's ridiculous. People are more understanding of being like, oh, I get it for weight loss purposes. And that's really fucking sad. Like, a lot of these people too, I find really interesting when it comes to this conversation around weight loss, is that they're like, I tried everything and I wasn't losing any weight. Like, nothing was going well for me. I couldn't get all this weight off. And then I went carnivore and I lost like 20 kilos in a month, and it was great. Nothing else worked, but this did. And I'm just, that's not a good thing. Firstly, losing 20 kilos in a month, that is a lot to lose in a month. I suppose that may vary depending on like how much you weighed to begin with, but like the people who are talking about this are not at like a size and weight where losing 20 kilos in a month sounds at all like a healthy thing to have happened. Losing weight is not inherently a good thing. If you have tried like calorie deficit before and it's not working, and like nothing is working until you switch into the carnivore diet and then it does, I feel like you have to like question why that is and think about like what is possibly causing that to happen, because that feels like something is a bit off to me. And I don't know how you could look at like just losing weight as like a good thing. Losing weight does not mean healthy. It's not, those two things do not equate to one another, right? Like the fact that people view gaining weight unhealthy, losing weight healthy, neither of those things are true. Sometimes gaining weight is the healthiest thing for a person and losing weight is the least healthy thing for a person. There are a lot of illnesses that start with being like, if you are drastically losing weight, you might have XYZ. Like, you search up so many illnesses and diseases and it's like symptoms, quickly losing weight. So you being like, I lost a lot of weight really quickly, so it's obviously a good thing, is not true. And if you have made like such drastic lifestyle changes to the point where, as I said before, it is like impacting all the facets of your life and like how you are living it and enjoying it and like hanging out with friends and such, like that is, it means you're in a mentally unwell state as well. Like if you were prioritizing weight loss over like having fun with your friends, I need you to like think about that and realize how unhealthy that is, right? Even if like losing weight is like a good thing for your health because, you know, you've been told that you've got to do that. If it is like impacting the way you are living your life, there's got to be another way. You've got to have some sort of middle ground in this that is not mentally fucking you up, because psychologically being fucked is like also really bad. And like whenever I talk about this and like restriction and like don't cut out foods and don't cut out food groups, I do get people being like, well, you're vegan and how is that any different? There are a lot of differences between being a carnivore and being vegan. Firstly, starting with morals of like, I'm vegan for the planet and for animals, not for my health. That's not why I'm vegan. I am vegan based off of my morals because I don't want to hurt animals. I don't want to, you know, contribute to harm. I don't want to be putting money into a, you know, system that like exploits millions of people, that is the number one cause of deforestation, the number one water polluter, one of the biggest like CO2 producers. Like it is just the agriculture is the worst thing happening to the planet, and also causes the suffering of like billions of animals, and I don't want to contribute to that. So that is why I am vegan. These people are carnivores because they want to look a certain way, because they think, I don't know, it's like good for their health, despite there not really being very much proof to that. They use their own experiences in ways to be like, it is good for my health. Look at how much it's helped me. Firstly, it helped me lose weight. And secondly, it has done X, Y, Z. And that is something I really, really need to talk about, because I think it's really important. I'm going to give you an example of a couple of people talking about the carnivore diet and why they've chosen to do it and why they stick to it.
Do the carnivore diet. Eating this way will lead to heart disease, fatty liver disease, chronic inflammation, high cholesterol, cancer. If you're someone who thinks this about the carnivore diet, I just want to ask you, have you eaten ultra-processed food in the last week? Is there a reason why you're okay with eating fast food meals or boxes of Oreos, but not the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, simply because they contain saturated fat and cholesterol?
Well, I mean, yes, there is a reason why I'm okay with eating like Oreos and fast food over the most nutrient-dense food on the planet, and that is one, as I said, harm contribution. Vegan food is much less harmful than animal-based food. But also, if we want to go into that, like, why do you have a problem with me eating a lot of saturated fats if you are eating fast food? Listen, I don't care. I am not one to judge what people eat in the way of like nutrition and like eating a bunch of processed foods and saturated fats and whatever. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Do whatever the fuck you want. However, you're coming at this from a nutritional point, so I am also going to counter that from a nutritional point, right? If we want to talk about like, why can you eat fast food and Oreos and I can't eat 6 steaks a day? Well, for one thing, I'm not eating fast food every single day. That is not every meal that I have. I'll have fast food very occasionally. Sure, I'll have like some ice cream, like a couple times a week, maybe. You know, I'll have like my fucking soy chicken nuggets or whatever the fuck, because I don't personally like care that much. It's easy and it tastes good, so I'm gonna eat it. I'm not judging you for that reason, but also I'm not eating that for every single meal. I'm not eating fast food multiple times a day. I'm not eating food that is like largely just saturated fat at every meal, you know? I'm eating a variation of foods, right? I'm eating food that has fiber and vitamins and minerals and carbohydrates. I'm getting a bit of a mix of everything. Sitting here and acting as though eating the same thing over and over every single day is the same as eating something occasionally, like, that doesn't make sense. How would me eating a burger once be the same as you eating one like 3 times a day? Like, they're not. That's not the same thing. Have you eaten fast food in the past week? Yeah, but this is every meal for you. So how are you comparing those two things? I don't understand.
Listen, eating a diet made up of nothing but animal foods has definitely ruffled some feathers of mine and took me by surprise. For starters, I lost 60 pounds as a woman with insulin-resistant PCOS. You know, it was impossible for me to lose weight before on different diets, no matter how much calorie counting I did or high-intensity cardio or weighing food on scales. It's crazy, it wasn't until I started a meat-based diet that I was able to put my PCOS into remission, and I dropped 60 pounds effortlessly. I also don't grow ovarian cysts anymore, my menstrual cycle came back, my hormonal acne disappeared, and I don't even use conventional skincare anymore. I no longer suffer from irritable bowel syndrome. I don't fight for my life on my toilet seat. My nails are long and they're strong and they don't break. Oh, and I've been able to get off 3 different medications, one being hormonal birth control and the other 2 being medications for my life-threatening depression and anxiety. So yeah, those are just some of the benefits I've experienced since eating this way. I'm still waiting for my heart attack.
This is so frustrating to me. Like, this is so frustrating. Like, firstly, I'm obsessed with being like, where's my heart attack? I still haven't had a heart attack. Girl, it's been like a few months. Give it time. It's not gonna happen straight away, right? No one's saying you're gonna get a heart attack after 2 months of being a carnivore. It's more like give it time, give it a few years. Eating red meat and eating like this, it has been proven to be very bad for your health. Like, the best way to take care of your heart health is to not eat red meat. That is something that is widely available knowledge. Red meat is bad for heart health, and it's literally all that you eat. No, you're not going to get a heart attack after doing it for 6 months. Obviously, it takes a bit longer than that for your heart to get fucked up. Anyway, that's not even the part that frustrates me so much. The part that frustrates me so much, and this is something, once again, that most of these carnivores talk about, and that is being I cut out everything and now only eat animal products, and it's cleared up all these health issues I was having. My skin is clear, my bowels are better, all these health issues I was having are it's cured now.
Eating this way has cured my psoriasis, has now made me have 0 period pain, restless legs are gone, low energy is gone, no more bleeding gums, and I am healthier in other parts of my body as well.
I have reversed my cystic acne, my psoriasis, eczema, and my rosacea. I feel amazing. My period is regular. I don't have any cramps.
That's not because you're eating a carnivore diet. That is not because you are only eating animal products. That is because there was something in your diet that was fucking you up, and now you're not eating it anymore. That thing wasn't everything. It wasn't everything that you were eating. It was 1 or 2 things that you were eating, and you cut it out of your diet. So now you're not experiencing the issues that it was causing. But you're also not eating anything else now that is good. Yes, you cut out the bad things, but you also cut out the good things. And now you aren't even allowing yourself to figure out what those good versus bad things are. And this is when it moves into that eating disorder territory even more noticeably. And that is in the way that there is fear around food. Right? There is a fear around it because these people are here being I only eat animal products and it's helped me. I will never eat, other foods again because it was bad for me when I was eating like that. I was feeling bad all the time. So I'm just going to stick to only these very specific foods and never go outside of that. If you are afraid to eat something, that is an eating disorder. If you get a carrot put in front of you and you refuse to eat it because you're that could cause a reaction, that could make this happen, I can't eat that because XYZ, even though there is no proof to that food being harmful to you, which there is not, that is an eating disorder and you need help for that. It is not healthy to have a fear of food, right? Yes, I as a vegan have cut out several food groups, obviously, but I'm not afraid to eat them. It just makes me uncomfortable to eat it. And I know the difference because I have been in a position where eating food fucking terrified me. I had to draw up a pyramid when I was 14 of foods that I'm terrified to eat at the top, foods I'm not scared of at the bottom. I had literally nothing in the bottom of that pyramid. I was terrified of every single food. I convinced myself that most food was not edible. I literally had panic attacks and breakdowns when specific food was put in front of me because I had created so many rules around it, and I genuinely was afraid of what would happen if I had just even one bite of it. And that included things like even fruits and vegetables. It was a horrible place to be in. When you only have a few safe foods, it's miserable. It's miserable living your life being afraid of food. And that is how these people are living. And cutting out all these foods, again, yes, maybe it's cleared up all these health issues. And sometimes doctors will recommend doing things like that and drastically reducing the different types of food you eat. But they say to do it for a few weeks and then start reintroducing things slowly to figure out what the problem is. It is like skincare, right? If I buy 10 new skincare products and I use all 10 of those in the same night. Like, it's new, I'm putting all 10 new things on my face, and then I break out really bad, most likely it is going to be one or two of those things that my skin is reacting poorly to. And that is why they say when you start a new skincare routine, they tell you explicitly, like, introduce these one at a time and use each one for a few days first, right? So you use the cleanser for a few days, and if you're doing fine, then you can start using the toner and use that for a few days. If you're doing fine, you can introduce the essence, and then, you know, you keep going until you use a product and your skin breaks out. And then you're like, okay, well, this is the product that I'm clearly having a bad reaction to because I have individually tried every single other one and it has been fine. Now I'm trying this one and it is bad. So I will just not use this one. And then you carry on and you introduce the next product. And if you aren't having a reaction to that, you know that that one's good. And then, and you keep doing that, right? Slowly, you use a product for, I don't know, like a few days, a week. And then when you figure out if it's okay or not, you decide if you use it or not. And it's the same with food, right? I will give you points if you cut out a bunch of food and feel a lot better and you're like, okay, something was going on. And then you start reintroducing them group by group, because chances are the way you were feeling, like your cystic acne and your like bowel issues and stuff, it was not coming from like apples and potatoes and carrots or whatever. Like, there are so many foods that were most definitely fine. It was probably something like, I don't know, maybe you have a gluten intolerance. Did you ever try just like removing gluten from your diet and seeing what happened there? That probably would have been a better thing to try than removing everything and being like, okay, I'm safe now. It's too restrictive. It is doing more harm than good. Like, in the long term, this is going to do more damage. And it's also going to cause you more misery because you are missing out on so much. Both the like joy of eating food and also the social aspect of eating food. And the longer you do restrictive diets like this, the worse it gets and the harder it is to like expand back out again and like enjoy food again. And it just makes me so frustrated and so upset because these carnivores all sell this diet in this same way, being like, it cleared all these health issues. If you have health issues, you should try it too. If you get cystic acne, you should try the carnivore diet. And all of them say the same fucking thing. They're all like, wow, it did help clear up all these health issues. And I just have to sit here and be like, there are so many other ways to go about this. If you find cutting out foods help you, figure out what the foods are. I promise you it is not all of them. And like, now you are living under a diet that is effectively forcing your body into like a type of starvation mode. And also you are not getting the required like vitamins and minerals that you need in your diet. My main overall point to that was that this is a really good way to sell the carnivore diet, but also like very unhelpful and not actually effective in the right ways. Like, it will solve the problems, but it will create new ones. And it's also just really fucking sad. It's fucking miserable. Please introduce more foods into your diet. I am begging you. I am begging you. I think one of the things that frustrates me most about these carnivores is that a lot of them say they were vegan before they were carnivores. And I use vegan in quotation marks because if you were able to go from being vegan to being a carnivore, you weren't vegan, you were plant-based. If you don't know, because I feel like maybe this isn't widely known outside of the vegan community, veganism is like a moral thing. It is something that you are doing for like moral reasons, and it isn't just about your diet and the food you eat, but it also means you don't like buy like leather or any animal products in that way, and you aren't buying, you know, things that are tested on animals or like beauty products and anything that has animal products in it. Whereas plant-based is specifically like diet related. You eat a vegan diet, but no other part of your life is vegan. That means you are plant-based. If you are vegan, but not for moral reasons, you are plant-based. If you say you are vegan for moral reasons, but then turn around and become a carnivore, I don't think you were ever actually vegan for moral reasons, and no one who is in the vegan community would call you a vegan. They would say you were plant-based. That's a whole different thing, but that's some information if you didn't have it already. So already you were never vegan, you were plant-based. That's real nitpicky of me, but it bothers me a lot. Especially because like I think that the thing that bothers me so much about it is that it's just like, it's such an anti-vegan sort of thing, which I think is frustrating and harmful in so many ways. Like these people being like, I was vegan for 6 years. This is one of these carnivores specifically. I was vegan for 6 years and I had acne and it was really hard and I really struggled. And then I went carnivore and everything is great now. It's so good. And like people weren't judging me when I was vegan, but they judge me now that I'm a carnivore and I'm... Firstly, once again, tell me specifically, because none of them ever disclose what their plant-based diet actually looks like, right? Again, specifically, if you were eating a specific way and then cut out everything, then yeah, it is going to have a drastic impact on your health. What did your plant-based diet look like? What were you eating? Like there was something that was going on in there that you weren't agreeing with. Sure, we can agree on that. But I find it really interesting that the morals come last. And I think that bothers me so much is that like you can like claim to have this like lifestyle that is very morally founded, right? Like veganism is a very strong moral point to be, and it doesn't make sense to me that people aren't doing that for like moral reasons. And so like coming from being a vegan or being plant-based and like therefore I presume having all the information on like why people are plant-based and then turning around and doing the opposite is just so baffling to me. I don't understand how you are willing to cut everything out for the sake of only eating animal products, but you aren't willing to try to like adjust your diet as a plant-based person. Like, once again, did you try, you know, removing gluten from your diet and see how that made you feel? Did you try removing soy? Like, there are a lot of foods that people have intolerances to, right? Like, a lot of people are gluten intolerant, a lot of people are soy intolerant. So I think it is an important step to try to figure out if that could be the issue. There's a lot of vegan food that is soy-based. Maybe you have a soy intolerance. Did you test that out, right? Like, maybe you're feeling a lot better because you aren't eating any soy. But like you didn't have to cut out all the fruit and vegetables as well, right? Like you're not even eating like rice or anything anymore. Like you didn't try to figure out what the problem was. And I understand that some people get frustrated and just go, I'll just give it all up. But it doesn't make any sense because if it's that easy for you to just like change your diet and like get rid of so many things, why would you not first try to just remove like one thing, right? Like if you remove gluten and it doesn't make a difference, add gluten back and remove soy. If that then doesn't make a difference, add it back and like remove something else. Maybe you do have like a reaction to like specific additives or like preservatives and such. Like try removing different things and see if that makes a difference instead of just cutting everything out. It is just so frustrating to me that like specifically, especially people who were plant-based before, like going from this place of, you know, a lifestyle, which I doubt they lived the lifestyle again, it was probably plant-based and not vegan, but like a diet then that is based on compassion to then turning around and like exclusively putting your like money into the most like harmful industry in the world. It's, I think, really funny to me how these people say that they are carnivore for their health, but are like putting all of their money into the system that is actively like the number one like cause of so many climate crisis issues. So like if you are actively fucking the planet, I don't think that's really gonna like help your life expectancy. I don't think that's gonna make you live longer. I think that's just fucking you and everyone else as well. I feel as though we don't talk about it enough because people are uncomfortable looking at their own decisions and what they are doing. And I know people fucking hate when I talk about veganism, but I'm not going to apologize. I always sit here and try to like not be the angry vegan, but sometimes I've really fucking got to be the angry fucking vegan. My entire channel is me sharing my opinions and my morals and talking about why I disagree with people's morals. And eating animal products is something that I just morally disagree with for a lot of reasons. And I'm about to share a few facts. And if you feel targeted and attacked and incredibly defensive over this, I just think that means you have to do a little bit of reflecting as to why you feel that way. I am not saying that everyone has to go vegan, but I really am saying I'm begging everyone to make more plant-based choices, because the animal agriculture industry is fucked in so many ways, right? Like, everyone talks about water usage and AI water usage, and I agree. I get it. We should not be using generative AI. I completely agree. 100%. Do not use generative AI for so many fucking reasons, but the water wastage is a big one. However, if you want to care about water wastage, I need you to also consider the fact that animal agriculture is the #1 user of clean water by a lot. By a fucking lot. It is globally the #1 use of all of our clean water by a fuckload, especially for cattle, so beef and dairy. #1 water user by a lot. And not only is it the #1 water user, it is also the #1 water polluter. So not only is it using most of our clean water, it is also polluting a lot of our clean water. So it's kind of doing two fucked up things at once. We're all talking about how we're gonna run out of clean water. If you aren't using generative AI, great, I'm glad. Keep not doing that. If you are consuming a lot of animal products, I don't know how much you actually care. And I need you to consume less animal products, because if you want the individual to do things to make a difference to our water usage, you need to do things as an individual to make a difference to our water usage, right? Not only that, but the animal agriculture industry is also the #1 cause of deforestation by a lot. Like, it is destroying the Amazon, especially. Like, they set fires to the Amazon rainforest regularly to clear way for farms. I went to the Amazon rainforest, and on the drive in, I was fucking heartbroken, because on the way in, it's just empty fields with cows in it, and I knew that that was once the forest, and it made me really fucking sad. The deforestation, because of farming and animal agriculture, has led to the extinction of over 75% of all of Earth's species. It is roughly 135 species of plant and animals that go extinct every single day. That is 50,000 species that go extinct every single year because of animal agriculture. Because, again, largely because of beef and dairy, 75% of species. And it's not slowing down. The deforestation and like the removal of these habitats is still leading to mass extinction and endangerment of several species. A lot of people then turn around and say, well, soy takes up a lot of land. The deforestation is also to grow soy, which is what vegans eat. 60% of all soy grown is fed to livestock. Most of the world's crops are fed to livestock. And on top of those environmental detriments, it is also a huge, huge contributor to greenhouse gases and CO2 emissions. And then if you want to move into the moral point outside of the planet and how bad it is for the environment and the climate crisis, it also is an industry that exploits millions of migrant workers. It is also displacing hundreds of native tribes in the Amazon. And also, obviously, most in your face about it is that it is the exploitation, mistreatment, and torture of billions of animals every single year, which is all completely unnecessary. Again, I don't expect everyone to go vegan or plant-based because I'm not, you know, as much as I would like to be an idealist, I understand that that is an unreasonable thing to expect of people. But what I do need is for people to make more plant-based choices. I don't understand how so many of us can sit here and like say that we are moral and that we care about the planet and that we care about exploitation and all these things and like constantly contribute so much to so much harm. And I know there's no such thing as ethical consumption under capitalism, but this is like objectively the worst industry, and it is something that people turn away from and don't talk about because it's not something people want to change. But I think we really fucking need to change. And I know people get angry and defensive, and I know people are going to get mad at me and be like, but what about XYZ? But what about you do this? But what about... We can't all be perfect, right? I know that. I do what I can, and I think that everyone should do what they can. But there are some things that are like avoidable, right? If it's something that you are able to do, then why would you not do it? I don't understand how, if you know all of this information and if you are in a position to be able to do something about it, I don't understand why you would choose not to do it. And so I get extra fucking frustrated with these carnivores because they were in a position where like they can do it. They were doing it. And they opted to stop doing it because what? They wanted to lose some weight. They wanted to like burn some fat. They wanted to like get rid of a health issue, but they didn't actually like attempt to figure out what the problem was. Like viewing veganism as a diet and not a lifestyle is the number one problem. I feel like you've got to do your research into these things, but these people clearly aren't big on research based off of everything. Okay, that was my vegan rant done. I don't talk about it very often, but I really fucking need to say it. And you know, if you get mad and you feel attacked by it, like it's literally what I do in all of my videos. You just aren't usually a target of it, right? But my videos are just me sitting here and ranting and yelling about my morals and my politics. You just usually agree with it. Now that I've got that bit out of the way, yeah, I think overall, like the carnivore diet is just completely fucked up in so many ways. There is not any actual support to it being actually good for you. There is, however, a lot of backing and like showing of it being not good for you. Like in so many ways. Obviously you're missing so many like so much like nutrients from your diet, and it's like lacking so much diversity. They say to get 5 a day, right? Like I aim to get my 5 a day. That's 5 servings of fruit and vegetables every single day, and they all have to be like a different color. I don't go that far. Sometimes I want peas and broccoli, and counting that as 2. It is important to like have a variety in your diet, to have variation in your diet, both for your physical health and also again for your mental health. Like restricting to such intense levels is so bad for you mentally and physically as well, obviously. People who feel the need to follow like strict diets it's automatically like you are thinking in a disordered way. You have disordered eating. If you are living your life jumping from diet to diet, being like, oh, I'll try this diet, oh, I'll try this diet. Like you need rules laid out for what you are allowed to eat. That is disordered eating. If you are afraid of food and you have such strict rules around it, like that is a problem unless it is coming from a moral, religious, or allergen sort of place. It is not good for you. The most healthy diet you can have is a varied diet. You need like variation in your diet, like balance. You are allowed to eat whatever, right? Like anything is fine in moderation. You shouldn't eat anything to an extreme amount, and that includes a pile of meat. Like you shouldn't be having like 6 steaks a day, in the same way you shouldn't only eat apples. Right? Like you shouldn't just be eating one thing forever. It's not going to be good for you. It is not like a good way to be like living your life. And I don't know why you would like choose to put yourself in that position. Again, outside of, you know, the fact you have a fucking eating disorder and just won't acknowledge that that's what's going on. And if you want to claim that it's like how humans used to be and we never ate carbohydrates or anything, you're just fucking incorrect. That's just like not true. There's been so many studies like on the human diet, and we have always eaten like a variety of things. We've even been eating carbohydrates for over 100,000 years, like eating like the roots of plants. Potatoes and earlier variations of potatoes have been consumed by humans for a very fucking long time. We've always eaten a varied diet, and like finding animal products, like finding meat, I don't know why you think was an incredibly easy thing to do, but hunting is not easy. It's just like not an easy thing to do. And like I don't know if you know anything about carnivores, but most carnivores are unsuccessful in most of their hunts. There are very few carnivores who are like successful in even a majority of their hunts, and they'll kill one animal and then they make it last for a long time and like eat the entire animal. Yeah, if you want to be like living a natural life like your ancestors, you can't be eating fucking farmed meat, can you? It's not very natural, is it? Everyone who claims like, I'm living a natural lifestyle like my ancestors, no the fuck you aren't. The only people who are close to doing that are like indigenous people in like some areas of the world, like the people who are like being displaced in the Amazon, like the Amazon tribes. And then there are some like tribes in like North America who are still trying to live like close to their roots. And there are pockets of people who are like living in like an actual natural way in which they are still going out and they are like hunting and like having an animal that feeds the family for a week or whatever. Like I find that like personally I don't like the idea of eating an animal. Like I'm not for that, but if you're going to do it, then like that at least makes sense to me. There's like respect. There's actually like circle of life bullshit going on, right? People who sit here and are like, I eat meat because it's circle of life. Farming is not part of the circle of fucking life, all right? Factory farming is not, that's not natural. You can't be here being like, I'm eating meat because it's natural. The way you got it is not fucking natural, all right? Don't be sitting here and saying that it's a natural diet. I'm not claiming my diet is a natural diet. So like, you can't then look at me and be like, well, you're not, I'm fucking no, I'm not claiming to live a natural life. I just find it so hypocritical when these people, like claim that they're living like the way the ancestors did, when that's not true in even any capacity, like not even at all. Firstly, they ate a varied diet. Secondly, they did not eat that much meat. Like for a long time, like meat was like a luxury. It was much more restricted. There are parts of the world that have been like plant-based for a very long time. Like a lot of Asia has been plant-based for like thousands of years. What is natural and what our ancestors did looks different based on what was available to your ancestors based on like where they live and what the environment is like. But no one was eating just fucking meat except for maybe like Inuits who are living in like places where there's literally nothing except like seals. And then there's not really much choice. So it's like, yeah, okay, they do it because they don't have any other option. You have a lot of options. And if you want to eat your animals, go fucking find your own, all right? Anyway, yeah, I hope, this has been helpful. Hope this like taught you something. Yeah, all right. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, I guess. And a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Bug Loves Cats, Kaylee, Kojo, The Beebs, Tess, Alicia, Myrail, Bree, Bay the Trucker, Chastity, Beckett, Prismatic PT, Sushi Kawaii, Phil the Duck, River, Queen Glimmer, Ella, Mr. Noodle, Radsack, Knitting Menace, Chris, Ellie, and Alexis. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.